Welcome everyone. Today we are going to do a special reading. I felt guided to do a reading by your guides on messages that you may be missing. I feel like some of you were looking for guidance and you asked, like, you send me guidance, and I feel like there were signs that for some reason you overlooked or you missed, or and that's just our humanness. So your guides are going to find a way. I feel like if you miss a sign, another sign will be sent. You miss that one, another one is sent, and it's just bigger. You know what I mean? So I feel like, and I feel like that's why sometimes we receive a tower, because we weren't paying attention to the signs, and then boom. I'm not feeling tower energy, by the way. I'm just, giving an example. So what you want to do is you just want to trust your intuition. One of the things I look for, I don't even look for, they pop up to me, are like birth dates. Those who have crossed over, like I see birth dates often. So, like, pay attention to the numbers, pay attention to the signs. I was going to use the Good Tarot, which I am going to use, but then I kept getting pulled also to the Psychic Tarot. And I kept going back and be like, which one should I use? Which one? And then I thought, I'm going to use them both. Because I literally felt like I couldn't decide, like they both needed to be in the reading, so we're going to bring in both. Which is good, because we'll look for synchronicities within that. We're going to use the Luminous Tarot to clarify or go deeper. We're going to start with Mother Mary, our oracle, to get what I call our words of wisdom to open up the reading. This is for all signs. I would assume that you're on some type of spiritual path if you're here. Well, I shouldn't assume that. I take that back. Because I feel like, whether you have guides or not, doesn't mean that they're still not working behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to recognize them. And some don't. And listen, sometimes I feel like things in life, it's like when we fall to our knees, I feel like that's the card, and that's coming with it. And sometimes that alone will, like, open us up, right? Almost like there's got to be more. And then the universe says there is more. I'm so glad you asked. All right. So just calm your mind. I feel like, how do you know if it's for you? You'll know it's for you. You know what I mean? Like, if you gotta, like, really question it, well, then it may not. There may be, like, a message within a message. Just be open. Joy. Well, like that. Joy. By enjoying this moment, I am giving thanks to God for my life. By enjoying this moment, I'm giving thanks to God for my life. Sometimes through life, it is moment by moment by moment, and it's just like, if you're trying to get through a difficult time, sometimes it's literally moment by moment. But understand that those moments will add up and will eventually lead to the next exciting door, let's say. So joy reminds me of the Three of Cups. Beautiful. This is exactly the type of reading we're doing, so I love that this is coming out for you. Watched over. Watched over. I allow myself to feel safe and enjoy my life, knowing that heaven is watching over my loved ones and me. And by the way, when I feel like when it says loved ones, I feel like those who, we use the word lost, but let's say those who have crossed over, those who are now in a spiritual body, know that they are also being loved, and they're in the energy of, like, pure love. most of them. Anyway, so I just feel like I had to add that, and I feel like, there's someone I just responded to who lost their mom, and was really grieving. And listen, I've had a lot of loss, so I get it. But I also now get that they're right there. They're right there. And what would they want for us the most? Happiness. Not grieving, not, you know what I mean? Listen, sometimes you just break out and cry. And you just have to allow that, right? Like, that happens to me just like out of nowhere, but that's a moment. That's a moment. You know what I mean? So that's, I feel like, what I'm talking about when I say moments. Anyway, I allow myself to feel safe and enjoy my life. Enjoy my life. Hello, Joy. Knowing that heaven is watching over my loved ones and me. Okay, interesting. Alright, let's start with the Good Tarot. They're all pre-shuffled, by the way. But we're going to go ahead and give them a couple shuffles with you here. I like to take any doubt away from your mind. Though it's interesting, Sam and I watched this show. It might just be a local show, but it's about a magician. Or, he's a magician, but he's like a mentalist. It's just amazing what he does. And, even with cards. And I thought to myself, I've been working so long with cards that if I put my mind to it, not that I don't mean this in a, turn it against humanity, but I feel like I would have that talent. I could find that talent. Alright. Anyway, let's go ahead and begin. We're going to go ahead and take the first 4 cards, and then we're going to take the first 4 cards from the Psychic Tarot. Alright, we have the Messenger of Air. It's the Knight of Swords. Interesting, because being your very first card, it's like, well, hello, there's communication coming your way. And for some of you, it is this reading. You know what I mean? I like how they call it the messenger. Like, I bring you some type of communication. We have, the Page of Cups. Interesting. It's almost like your inner child. We have the King of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But, can be any sign. Interesting that we have the King and then we have the Knight, right? Because who normally sends the Knight would be the King or the Queen. But then we have this Page in between. We have the Tower. Interesting. What's going on here? Let me bring this lid down. And look at the bottom of the deck. We have the 6 of Swords. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, guys. Alright, so 6 of Swords. Interesting, because it's at the bottom of the deck. That means that someone has had, some type of realization of energy around them that wasn't good for them. You know, it speaks about the toxicity. And it's interesting because the Tower over here, I almost feel like they're related. Some of you, I feel like this King. Now, you could be either or, but I feel like this King is messaging this page. I feel like this is someone that this King used to know of an earlier time. I get this feeling of, like, when I think about you, it's like I think you're, you know, I remember you as carefree and like unencumbered. You know what I mean? Like, just like stopping to smell a flower. You know, so I feel like, I don't know why I'm feeling all that, but I feel like this King has very happy memories. But I do feel like this King has, in some way, suffered this Tower. Now, in one way, we have the Six of Swords on the bottom. So, whatever the Tower was, you know, it was toxic anyway. So, did this King leave before the Tower? You know what I mean? Like, how do I say this? I almost feel like, you know, I'm thinking of the 5 before the 6, and I'm thinking, you know, if I don't stop and, like, realize, you know, like, that I'm not happy, that, you know, energy around me is not what I want, you know what I mean? And I feel like, I don't want to say to an extreme, but it's almost like two people living two different lives, but in the same house. And I feel like if this person didn't stop at the 5, then it would only continue and go the whole way to the 10. 10 of Swords. It's not a good thing, right? That ends up being what I call repeat pattern, right? I got to break it or it will continue. So I feel like he does. And then I feel like, I don't know why I feel like you're the Page, but I feel like there's communication. Alright, let's bring in the Psychic Tarot. And let's go right below it. You know, it's almost like this King is, or has been, it's funny because I'm seeing this messenger of air. Let's just call him the messenger. I'm seeing it almost as, like, first of all, kind of dreamy, like, or yearning, but not yearning, you know what I mean? So I feel like this communication that's coming in, let's just say, I don't know, let's just say it the way I feel it. I feel like this King thinks of this Page and thinks of the life that he could have versus the life he has now. But nobody can make the change but this King. You know, that's what the Six of Swords is. It's the realization. And then 5 is about making the change. Well, it's look at whatever it's, you know, the 5 is bringing out. Alright. Alright, so same thing. We have victory and success. Interesting, another 6. it's like this messenger is announcing that there's been some type of victory. The Empress. Look at that. From the Page to the Empress. From the Page to the Empress. Number 3. Joy. Number 3. Some could have a life path or a personal year. Number 3. 63 is like standing out to me. But I don't know. I feel like, the feelings I'm getting right now, it's like I was this page. And when I say I mean you. I'm just the Empress right now. But I was that page. And I was a loving soul. I was somewhat carefree. The King of Swords could be the type of person where, like, I get in my head more, where you're more someone who just flows. Now, the Empress showing up, it tells me, first of all, time. It feels like there's distance. But at the same time, the Empress, I feel like must have had I want to say a pretty good life, but honestly, I shouldn't say that because of the feeling the Empress had quite a few challenges. But through those challenges, like, she's really learned who she is, right? She's, it's almost like she's allowing that inner child to come back out and play. We have mental conflict. Interesting. 2 swords coming between this King and the Empress. And then emotional withdrawal. 8 of Cups under the Tower. Wow. Alright. I don't know why I just want to keep concentrating on this King. This King can be anyone. It can be a female. It can be anyone. But I'm saying King because a King is before me. So, I feel like this King, if I was to describe, let's say the last 10 years of his life, I feel like it's been hard. And that doesn't mean it's been easy for you. But I feel like this is a perspective we got to look at. So I feel like for this King, it's been hard. I feel like this King has a habit of, like, living in his head. And, I'm not really finding much fault with this King because I feel like this King feels like I got to do what's right. But at the same time, not emotionally fulfilled. And I feel like as the King, I do have this blindfold on, but I know what the blindfold is. It means that I would have to maybe potentially break someone's heart. Like, the current person, let's say. This Tower, has emotional withdrawal under it. But it is an 8, right? So 8s are about a new beginning. And I feel like this King has wrestled with it for a while. Now, I do feel like the 5 came along. And, for some reason, I feel like it's a window of clarity where you get an opportunity to really see. Because I feel like I know where this King's heart lies. But in the same breath, I feel like in the same breath, there's nothing I can do if I'm the Empress, And listen, first of all, the Empress is not someone who just sits around and waits for someone, right? She's busy. She's, just creative. She's got victory and success right next to her. So she may have lived a life where she now can claim, because I don't feel like this Two of Swords belongs to her. I feel like it belongs to the King, as does the Eight of Cups. Suits on the bottom of the deck. Look at this. They both have the same card. Six of Swords. No wonder I was meant to use two different decks. It's like they both, it's probably just different timelines. The Empress is like, yeah, I did it. I was unhappy and I changed my life. I did it. How interesting that you both have the Six of Swords. Wow. Okay. Let's bring in the Luminous Tarot. I feel like this Empress probably left someone. Maybe it was even the King, but I kind of feel like maybe she had like her own marriage or her own partnership, and it didn't work out, let's just say, and I feel like she had moved on, and I feel like she's now at a place where she's feeling pretty good about her life. But I do feel like she had to go through similar type experiences. Now, maybe handled differently, because I almost feel like the Empress probably handled it quickly, or quicker, sooner. I know she did. Because again, the King is living in his head. Even if I don't love someone, doesn't mean I want to hurt them. And maybe I know that's on the table, right? But at the same time, it's almost like the Lovers, a head over heart decision. All right, we're going to shuffle for these. And we're just going to start at the beginning. Look at that. I said it's almost like the Lovers. And here's the Lovers. Wow. And here's his messenger, bringing in some type of communication. And it can mean simply a head over heart decision. Maybe this King finally makes that decision. And now his next decision is to reach out to, I feel like, to the Empress. This is probably something that's slow moving, because I feel like, even though I have to say though, they both have the Six, so I feel like they both made that change. The Lovers. Card Gemini. We have the Nine of Wands. And I feel like this Empress is saying, as a child, even though you think I was just like, carefree and this and that, I was also responsible. I was also responsible, like I've been responsible from a child, from the age of a child. I may have come across innocent, but, you know, I almost feel like my experiences started quickly in life. Hello, the Fool, right over the King of Swords. You know, this is good news if this is for you, because the Fool speaks about taking a chance, and I do feel like that's what the King has to do. This is also talking about, though, leaving the past in the past. That means that this person is not coming with baggage. At least this person. You know, I don't know about the person attached, but, you know, I don't think so. The Fool. Perfect energy. The Two of Pentacles over the Tower. So I feel like this king actually has to, like, deliver the tower. You know, I don't feel like the tower is happening to him. I feel like he's the one who is delivering the tower to another. Now, I guess it could be work, that type of thing. You know, we don't have a whole lot of love cards out, but I just get this feeling. Anyway, Two Pentacles, called the Juggler's card. You know, but it is using the logical mind when it relates to a decision in one's life. Almost like King is saying, I want a simpler life. I want a simpler life. We have the Seven of Pentacles. We're going to take them down here because I am going to go in the middle. We have, beautiful, the Three of Pentacles right over the Empress. It's beautiful because this is, you know, in the Three of Pentacles, like, I'm doing my thing. And it speaks about, like, you know, your uniqueness being the missing piece of the puzzle. But I feel like you're aware of that. You know, and I also feel like many of you, it just feels like you're on the right path if you question that. I almost feel like this Empress saying, I knew that I couldn't be a child forever. We have the Five of Wands. And then look at this. We have the Nine of Swords. Again, the difference in the energy. I almost feel like I'm reading two people here. Like I almost got to put a little split in them. Seven of Pentacles is about it's about patience. It just is. But it's also about nurturing, like, your own garden, right? Your own seeds. The Empress is perfect for that. I feel like many of you have just ended up on these paths, and you know, I do feel like it's because of experiences, you know, that you've had, that it plays probably a role in what you do, and I feel like you do it well. Or listen, if you're just beginning, then I feel like you'll still do it well. Now, as I move over here, I feel like this king is like, okay, I made a decision, and then, you know, I hand this tower to whomever, and immediately it's met with probably exactly what I thought it was going to be met with in the Two Swords. the Five of Wands. And that's a lot of back and forth and fighting and drama and just butting of heads. But then you have the Nine of Swords come out, which is about worry, isolation. I almost feel like this king is like, I can either live this way or I can live this way. Even though I'm not promised, right? Because I don't feel like this king feels like I'm promised to have whoever this may be. Or maybe it's just the way he sees things, in a loving way, the way it should be. I forget what I was going to say. Anyway, I don't feel like, he's even saying to himself, like, I have any guarantees. But, so the Nine of Swords is about unnecessary worries, coming over the emotional withdrawal. I feel like, I'm putting a lot of worry over that, right? Over, like, previous cups. What's this? Look at that. And then the Knight of Cups. This king has just got to learn, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it just feels like a lesson, because I can just feel like it just feels like the road, the path. And then he comes to that crossroad. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when he comes for you? Knight of Cups. Unexpected. And I like that coming by the Empress, because that's exactly what I feel her energy is. Like, if I don't have love, like, I feel like it'll find me. I just be the best me. I allow who I am, my uniqueness, to be, like I am who I say I am. And I do feel the energy of, like, other people appreciating that about you. So, and I want to tie that back to, it's like almost like, if I look back, I think, it didn't take me a long time to understand that, first of all, I feel like I've understood my own responsibility within things. Those nines, they're about final reflection, and there's a lot of growth I'm seeing. So it's almost like the inner child is being, like, the garden is starting to bloom. You are the blossom. So anyway, here's this knight. Hello, and he's under the Lovers. Keep going. We have the Eight of Cups. Well, I feel like that's exactly what he's going to tell you. That I have left those 8 cups in the past. And, that's why I love seeing the Fool, because I feel like whatever communication, like whatever this king, let's say, is communicating, I do feel like it's true. And then I feel like, if one of the things is like, I don't get involved, unless you're free and clear, I feel like the Fool's representing that. I don't mean it was easy. But again, I don't feel like it's because, like, this king was over here, like, loving and all that. I feel like it's almost like they were separate before they were separate. And by the way, these cups, they're, like, all standing up. All in order. So, definitely someone is, like, put their, like, cleaned and cleared their emotional house, and allowing themselves to have a new beginning. I feel like this is one of those readings where I feel like definitely for some of you, like it's for right now. But I do feel like it's also going to be one of those readings where it's just going to find you, or you're going to find it probably when you need it. You may even watch a reading and be like, it didn't make much sense. And then time goes by and then something happens in your life and you're like, and you remember it from the reading, so you go back and visit it and revisit it, and everything makes sense then. You know what I mean? We have the Seven of Swords. Okay, I feel like this is more, I don't feel it's the king. I feel like this king has been cheated on. You know, and when I say cheated, it can mean with like, you know, like physically with another person. But also, like, I feel like almost like a mental vampire. Like someone that just sucks that mental energy out of me. Could be also that he was dealing with someone who was like accusing him of always, and I'm saying him again, can be her, but anyways, accusing him of not being faithful, and maybe time after time after time I had to defend myself. We have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles can be a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. You know, King of Pentacles would definitely also be someone who would be in his head, would overthink something. King of Pentacles is mirroring the Knight of Cups. King of Pentacles is someone who looks at a situation, let's say, from the big picture. You know, like, interesting, because I'm seeing that Two of Pentacles above him. Alright. I want to look a little more at him. King of Pentacles. Tell me more. Tell me more, tell me more. Interesting. Hermit. Virgo. I'm a Virgo. Virgo Sun. Sam's Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon. Yeah. But you know, this is also the Hermit. I do feel like it's interesting because it's like someone sees the light. You know, I feel like someone just sees the truth of a situation. Almost like, it's interesting because the Hermit is illuminating not just the Seven of Swords, but the Five of Wands, and then coming over the Nine of Swords, and emotional withdrawal, the Eight of Cups. So it's like, wow, that's like, yeah, I can live in that energy. You know, why would I want to? Why would I want to? And I feel like, you know, the Hermit kind of does go through the dark night of the soul. But through that dark night, it's almost like when I begin the reading and I said that sometimes we drop to our knees and it's almost like, it's like, boom, there's the light. That can just be awareness. Alright, and can just be Virgo also. You grab a drink real quick. Okay. I think what I want to do is just take any other cards. I'm pretty clear. You know, I like that the Knight of Cups has the Lovers right above it. And it's coming over victory and success, and it's touching the Seven of Pentacles. Well, in the Seven of Pentacles, I often feel it is my soul seed of intention to have this experience. And maybe, sometimes we're like, well, why can't it just be smooth? Maybe it's about the whole journey. The being ripped apart and then the coming back together. I don't know. I often think like when I read tarot, it reads like a story, like a movie to me. And I think, you want your movie to be interesting. Anyway, look who shows up. The Emperor. Well, hello, the Empress's match. I love when they show up in a reading together. And is that the first card that came out? I don't know. I just find it interesting because this Emperor is, first of all, also touching the Fool and the Empress and the Eight of Cups. So I know that it's, and if I think of the Emperor is someone I can look up to, right? But again, I'm not carrying my past. And I also feel like, it feels like this person, understands now. I don't know. Just want to say that, I understand now. So, that's pretty cool. Now, does this feel overnight? I guess, I don't know. Look at that with the Tower. I feel like I just want to grab one. Look at that and the World. Interesting. The Emperor, mirrored by the World, the next chapter, that Tower in between, but the Fool is above it, and the Fool is next to the Tower, right? So that Tower, though, maybe I feared that it would have so much destruction, but lo and behold, I feel like if I'm able to let it go, it doesn't mean it's easy. I don't feel like, I don't know. Maybe this person feels like it's a fall from grace, right? Because I couldn't make what I should have been able to make work. But at the same time, the world is like, come on in. The waters are fine. Someone asked me about the four corners of the world, and there's an eagle on this one. They're different. There's a lion. There's a woman. I think she's an angel. And I think that's an ox. I don't know. You have to let me know. I could probably just look it in my book. But anyway, I just find it interesting that I feel like that will be the communication. Now, whether you are the king who now feels like is the emperor, or you're the page who is now the empress, again, don't even think about signs. And then the lovers, sometimes you can't forget about someone. Doesn't mean that, my life didn't go on, your life didn't go on, but sometimes, doesn't mean that, because I feel like this king is making what feels like a bold move, but, it's like I'm starting free and clear no matter what. Because I feel like, this hermit is really making him aware of this energy that's around him. But also in the same breath, the power, the illumination. Maybe you are that person, and the Empress saying, we're helping, we're illuminating it, moment by moment, step by step. Sometimes the towers feel like they're just going to be like boom, and they're like Oh, it doesn't even matter though, because I feel like this is about what is coming when that Fool's energy. You know, in that Knight of Cups, like, I feel like, hello, love. Hello, love. I might even call it that. Hello, love. Alright. I think I'm going to leave it there. Because I don't want to over clarify it. You know what I mean? I feel like what you needed to hear, you heard. I feel like the synchronicities, by the way, are pretty great. I feel like the message, it felt very clear. You know, and remember, you may have a message within a message. Again, I don't feel like this Empress has been like sitting there wasting her time. You know, if this is talking about, let's say, the lovers and their journey. Okay, I'm going to let that be. By the way, what beautiful collaboration this would be, like, in the future. Because I feel like, because of, like, different towers, they both, like, they have their stories to tell and also have their wisdom that's been gained. So I feel like, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there because you have the Three of Pentacles right here too, so that could be beautiful collaboration. And I could see that. So, alright, I'm going to let it be. I love you guys. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye-bye.